Good evening. You surely don't need me to tell you that crime is on the uprise. I'm talking about serious crime. Murder, attempted murder, attempt to overthrow the government, doing serious bodily harm. Now, the government certainly has no solution. What they do, they put them in prison, which is counterproductive. Now, I'm going to have to refer to my notes because this is a very important issue, and I want you to understand this. Okay, now, let's see. It's ineffective because it's costing us billions of dollars, and we're not getting our money's worth. That's one big problem. Now, here, what happens when an offender is released? First of all, in prison, it's like a PhD course for prisoners. Other prisoners will teach him what he did wrong and how not to do it when he comes out. And when he comes out, what happens? He goes back to the same environment he came from. It's poverty, it's other gang members, and let's face it, maybe not due to his fault. What other options does he have but to return to a life of crime? And we have to protect ourselves. Okay, now let's see. Now, let's talk about the prison guards. Okay, we close down the prisons, okay? And here you have a couple of questions, okay? What happens to the prisoners? Now, what about the prison guards? This is costing us an enormous amount of money, and due to no fault of their own, they can only maybe contain the problem for a while. Don't you think prison guards can be used more effectively, stopping, preventing, smash and grab crime? And also, use them at other events. You know that people are jumping in to amusement parks, Disneyland, water parks, what's the one now, Knott's Berry Farm. These prison guards have the training and ability to deal with this. The other guards, meaning well, don't really. So that's another part of what I'm calling here a win-win situation. Okay? Now, sorry. Now, so I told you the problem, but I haven't told you the solution. And I'm going to reinforce what I said before. We're talking about very serious crimes. The solution is, if we have the will to do it, is to stop this criminal behavior by a relatively simple surgical procedure. It's called a prefrontal lobotomy. What this does, in effect, is turns the patient into a sort of a vegetable where they can't commit these crimes. When I say vegetable, a zucchini, broccoli, cauliflower, okay? And they're not going to commit the crime. So, of course, they have to place them in an institution which will require care. You'll have to have recreation. They'll be fed and cared for, but at a much less expense than prisons. So, you may be thinking that this is cruel and unusual, but I reiterate what I'm saying. The cruel and unusual is we the victims, so please support me in this. Thank you for your attention.